guys, what's up? This is Hunter from the Xeon Gaming Network, and today I'm going to be showing you pretty much how you can make an FPS game. Once again, this is part 2 on our series of how to make an FPS game. Now, I do want to start off by apologizing. I know I haven't, been uploading videos for quite a while now. I've been really busy with everything, so I'm very, very sorry for all of that. So I will be continuing this series on how to make an FPS tutorial right here, and hopefully give you a couple of free things along the way. So as you guys can see, this is pretty much what we're going to be doing today. Now, in the first tutorial, I believe all we covered was pretty much basics like entities, assets, and what they pretty much are, and how you can set colliders to them, what colliders are, setting a skybox, and all that. Well, today what we're going to be doing is setting a campfire like this. We're going to be using some particles, some more colliders, some models, some texturing, and same with this Humvee, and we're going to be mounting a couple of arms and hands and a gun and texturing this as well, and using a crosshair in the middle. So when you go ahead and play, we're also going to be using sounds, as you guys can guess. It will, you can see it's supposed to be an idle and That's pretty much what we're going to accomplish today. So let's go ahead and jump right in and get started. So, first things first, I'm going to go ahead and delete a lot of this stuff. Remove component. Now, I'm not sure if I showed you guys the hide mouse or hide cursor script. I will go back over that here today. So, this is pretty much what you guys should have. Now, I don't know if I already showed you this in the other one or not, but to get that game screen how I just had, go up to this game tag, drive it all the way over here to the right, and let go, or all the way to the right, and then down a little bit to where it does this, and let go. You can drag this to the side, reposition all of this, and pretty much what this does is this is what you can see at the moment. This is what your player is seeing at the moment. And go ahead and click on this maximize on play thing up here. So, yeah, let's go ahead and get started. So, first things first, you're gonna need to go ahead and download the FPS kit from my from the description. I'll have that in the description. I'll probably just put all this stuff that I'm about to name off in the description and one RAR file on MediaFire. So get the FPS kit. And you're also going to need to get this crosshairs folder, which will also be in the description, the campfire pack, and you're going to want to get this Humvee. I'll have all that in the description for you guys. So once you download all of that, what you're going to want to do is extract it into their own folders, and then let's go ahead and find it. As you guys can see, I have a bunch of folders right here. Let's just take this for example. This FPS kit. If we want to import it, you're just gonna drag this folder into here, let go of it inside of here, and it will start to import and copy. I'm not gonna do that because I don't want to overlay this and just waste time of your guys's and mine. So plus I have a couple of materials in there myself. So this is pretty much all you'll have right here, except for a couple of these like this and this. You'll have a bunch of things like this inside the FPS kit. So we're gonna be using these. Yeah, this is pretty much all we need to mount the arms, mount the gun, and texturize them. So let's go ahead and start with this. Now what we're gonna be doing first is adding the crosshair inside the middle of our screen. So what we're gonna do is go up here to first person controller, click the drop down, click on main camera, and actually drag this crosshair JavaScript onto the main camera, let go, click on main camera again, scroll down and make sure it's there. Now you'll say the crosshair is set to nothing, so what we need to do is go back to our assets, go to the crosshairs folder, pick a crosshair that you guys like, I prefer the second one a whole lot. You'll see why. Just go to the main camera again, scroll down, and drag the crosshair of your choice. And these are just black crosshairs over here. So if you guys are liking the black crosshairs, let me just show you real quick. That's what a black crosshair looks like. You know, so that's what they look like. But when you find a crosshair, you just want to take this image, left click, drag it over, and put it on top of the box next to crosshair, and let go. And that will set your crosshair for the main camera. Since it's set to the main camera, whenever you guys look around in play mode, it will be there in the middle of your screen the whole time. So that's a good thing to know. Now, I don't know if I showed you guys the hide mouse script yet, which pretty much is, you see my mouse right there. When I click, it goes away temporarily when you're on the screen. When you go all the way up here to the play button, it'll show up again. If I haven't showed you that already, let's see, do I have it still? Hide. Okay, so if I haven't showed you yet, I'll put this in the description as well, along with the other downloads. This, all you have to do is drag this script onto your main camera, and that's it. Just drag and drop on top of your main camera, and you'll be fine. So whenever you left click on your screen, when you're on play mode, it will hide your cursor temporarily until you want to end the game. So let's go ahead and go back. So now we have a crosshair. We need to mount some arms onto our character. So let's go ahead and go back into our FPS kit, and if you guys want, you can use this one FPS hand. It's only one, so I mean, you can make as much use of it as you can, or you want. As you guys can see, it's not the most textured thing on earth, so I prefer not using that. Instead, what I prefer using is the CSS arms, as you can see. So let's go ahead and get in there. Take this and drag it on your screen, and put it on your character just like so, and let go. Now over here on the top, you can see right here where I'm hovering my mouse over, it's a local. You can type it's local, and if you click on it, it's global. Local means it's just how it was imported. If you click on this and go to global, it will always be this look right here. So go ahead and click global. It's just a lot easier to use unless you prefer the local control at the moment. Just position it how you want with your game over here. Actually, what I prefer doing, let's go ahead and delete that real quick. Let's not even start off with the hands. It's actually a lot harder to start off with the hands. Let's actually start off with a gun. So the M200 assault rifle .fbx tends to have problems. As you can see, it's not showing up. So I don't know what the problem is, if it's way too small or whatever. Let's see. Scale factor, I'm gonna do 100, or let's do 100, 100, 100. I guarantee you still won't show up. As you can see, it still doesn't even show up. So yeah, see, it doesn't even show up anymore. So let's not even worry about that. So just don't select on the M200 assault, and there's just a bunch of glitches. It might work for your computer, but it definitely doesn't work for mine. So let's go ahead and just pick a gun of your choice. You have a revolver, Spaz 12, tactical Uzi, an Uzi, and a TMP, a Barrett 50 cal, or M4A3. I'm gonna go with the M4A3. Just gonna drag this onto your character. Find the okay, it's on that angle, so let's go ahead and find the front of him, and just where is it at? It's right here. Just drag it on him somewhere, and then you can you know, put it out, drag it in front of him. You can see this is the front of him, so I'm gonna go ahead and move over here a little bit and zoom in. You're gonna have to rotate this, so let's go up to the rotate tool, and you can either use this green axis right here to turn it how you want, which we will be using in a little bit. But for right now, what we're gonna need to do is go up here to rotation, and where it says Y, let's go ahead and type in 90 degrees. Now select the move tool again, let's click on local, click on global again to reset them, and you can looking at your game screen over here, push this back some into the character, over a little bit, up some, over a little bit, or over this way. Now and back some. Now what we're gonna need to do is actually, you guys will have an issue right here where it says main camera. It might look like this a little bit, like half your gun's missing or something once you get too close. How you fix this is go to your main camera, click on it, and where it says field of view, where it says clipping planes right here, go to where it says near and go all the way down. Now go to your M43, select the rotation tool, take the green axis and tilt it a little bit more how you think it should look, and then take the red one and tilt it up a little bit towards your crosshair to where it looks like it's almost in line with it. And then we can just use our move tool again to move it back some and whatnot. Just play around with it until it looks kind of good. Now it's time to place our hands, but before we do it, we're going to pair our M4A3 to our body. So let's go ahead, take this M4A3, click and drag it over top of the main camera and let go. It's now parented to the main camera. Now let's go ahead and add our arms. Same thing, just drag the arms right on the person, and let's select our move tool, select the global option, and let's pretty much move them into place. And just experiment with them a little bit. Sorry I'm being quiet, it's just a little bit of just focusing a little bit. Well, once you guys get these hands positioned a little bit, or how you think they should look, let's go ahead and do this drop down. I'll give you a little hint. If you want to move one arm, if you click on one and hold shift and go down to where it says 13, that is your whole left arm, or F1A to UA, that is your whole right arm. Just a little hint for those of you who might have been wondering. Okay, so once you get your hands positioned, for the most part, what we're going to want to do is first off, click on CSS Arms FPX, drag it down onto your M4A3, and let go. Make sure it's your gun that you're pairing it to. Now we're going to click on our arms once again, make sure it's highlighted, and take this little picture and start dragging it on top of the arms. This will give your arms a texture, and you're going to have to do your fingers one by one. This is a little bit of a pain, but it can be done. So just drag it to each part of the fingers. Just texturize your fingers. So there's that hand. Let's texturize the other hand. Just make sure you cover all of your fingers when you do this. so it doesn't look like you messed up. Okay, so once you're done with that, you pretty much have mounted your hands and your gun to your first person. Make sure it's on the see, I'm gonna have to fix that, but make sure it's on the main camera. And if you go into play mode, you'll notice that you've pretty much attached a gun to your person. Now I'm gonna have to adjust this a little bit, but for the most part, that's how you do it. Let's do this. I'm gonna do a little bit of adjusting here. So when you adjust them, I suggest that you adjust them separately. That way, you don't, you know, undo one thing that you might not want to, may not have wanted undone. Take these, global. Let's see. Hopefully that looks good enough. I mean, this doesn't have to be precise necessarily, but it's still good to make your people's or your character's hands as detailed and good looking as possible when designing. So let's go ahead and see how this looks. Good enough, I guess. Okay, so it's gonna go ahead and pairing them back together. And yeah, you guys can also texturize your gun if you want. How you do so? Go back to FPS kit. Right click, click create, click on material. Name it what you want. I'm gonna name this one gun. And then up here on the, you can use one or two things. You can actually click on this and find a texture. And then once you're done with that, you can actually click on this little white strip or the color and pick a color that you want. I'm going to pick black. And then just drag it onto your gun in the places that you want that color to show up. And we're going to do this with a couple things. You can also do that to your character as well. You can drag a thing on your character. Let's see if you can actually make one for your character. It has to be a material though. There we go. But for the most part, it's just dragging and dropping to your gun, as you can see, which is really easy. This is probably one of the most time-consuming things of a game is actually just designing it itself. It's not necessarily the coding. Now, if you are a professional designer, this might not take as long as someone who's probably new, but it still might be take a while. So, for the most part, that is it's pretty much the gun right there. So, you've pretty much created your gun and paired your arms to it. Let's see how this looks real quick. So for the most part, that actually looks pretty good. So yeah. Of course, it's not exactly pointing towards the crosshairs, but you know, it doesn't have to be perfect. You guys can work on all that by yourself. Now, if you guys do want to install a red dot scope, like you guys can see right here, there's a red dot. What you need to do is click once, and then click a second time on the first site, and click delete. Click once, click again, and then delete your rear sight. Delete any other part that stand out to where the top of this is clear. Then you're gonna drag on this scope on top of this. Just put it to where you can see it, and then drag it on top of the gun itself. And make sure it's paired with the gun pretty good. And then once you got that done, you guys can go ahead and lay some textures on it. And then you guys can, and then when you want to fill in the actual red dot, take this RDS scope right here and drag it to the center of the red dot right there. And you can see it creates the red dot. Now what you need to do is drag the red dot sight right here on top of the M4A3 or your gun, and you guys have paired it to your gun. So now if you click play, you will notice that you have your new red dot sight on top of your gun. So that's how you can add sights to your gun. You guys can keep any of the front or rear sights on it still. You don't have to detach them, but I just think it makes more sense if you do detach them, so you can have room for your red dot sight itself. So let's go ahead and click this. Unassigned reference. Oh, I did not mean to put that there. One second, guys. If you ever get this mono develop thing, I just close out of it. We'll deal with that later when we're actually coding. So that's pretty much the character part of this tutorial. Let's go ahead and start using other entities with the particle systems and all that. Oh, crap. Okay, so let's go ahead and put that. Now what we need to do is go back to our standard assets, and let's open up our campfire. Now what you're going to want to do is go into the model. It's the wrong campfire pack. Let's see, where is it at? It's right here. Go into the model and click on campfire and drag it out here in front of you. It should already be textured already, and if it's not textured, go back to the folder, go into where it says images, and where it says campfire texture, drag it right onto that campfire. As you can see, it just replaces it. And then what you're going to want to do is go into the prefabs and go to where it says fire, drag the fire into the actually what I'm going to do is go to the top view and drag the fire right into the center of the fire. And then what you're going to do from the side view is just lower the fire into the fire pit. You do any little adjusting that you might want to do. And then you guys can also put in some smoke. I'm actually going to take the smoke out of it. And over here on the right side, let's go ahead and go up to game object, create empty, rename it to campfire, and drag the campfire on top of it, and drag the fire on top of the campfire. This way it's just one entity itself. Let me click on both. if something's messing up like it just did with the smoke, then you guys can always here. And real quick, if your fire looks like this and it looks like it's too big, go to this little enlarge tool, just drag from the center up, and it'll make the thing bigger for you. Let's go ahead and center the sum. There we go. For the most part, that should be centered. Well, anyways, let's get to the smoke part. If something does glitch up for you, you guys can always go to the assets and then come over here, standard assets, of course, and go to where it says particles, and then you guys can always find it in here, smoke. Then there's detailed smoke, fluffy smoke, and all that. I'm gonna use the detailed smoke. Make sure it's in the middle of this, and then just drag that on top of the campfire too. So this time, when you guys play the game, your whole campfire will be burning. You'll see the smoke, the fire, and the actual model. And if you drag the actual prefab in, you won't be able to walk through this. And of course, if the campfire is giving you issues and you can walk through the whole campfire flawlessly, just click on it, go to component, go to physics, and click on mesh collider, and you will be able to set a collider to it, therefore not letting you walk through it. So there's a little bit about particles. Now you guys might be wondering about the Humvee and how that works. So let's go ahead, go over to the Humvee, open up that folder, and drag in this Humvee, the one like this. It's not the one on its side. It's going to be the one that is flat right here. It's the .3ds, not the object. Drag that in. Now, as you guys can see, it's going to be absolutely humongous. This is because the scaling units, or the units of scale, and wherever this was created was way different than what we're using. So what we're going to do is just click on the Humvee, click this enlarge tool, go from the center, and drag down a lot. Then go over here to where it says Y on the position, click on 0, and if go to the smooth tool, and we can move it to the side, move it out here, and just for reference, we can actually move it back to our character for a second. Now I'm going to go ahead and rotate this. In a way, real quick. I'm just doing this to see how big I should make this Humvee. Of course, once you get it down to scale, you guys might want to resize it and whatnot for your game. You might want to shrink it a little bit. Nope, needs to be. I think I had the right size the first time. Yeah, that should be good. Let's make it a very tad bit bigger. Okay, so once you got this, pretty much just click on the Humvee again. Then you see this door is off. You can either reposition it back onto the Humvee, and then try to reset the door on the, like copying a door and setting it back here or something. Or you can do what I'm just gonna do is just click on it and click delete. And then go over to the other side and take those doors off. I'm not going to be using the doors for this just because it's going to look a little stupid if you leave 2 doors on and 2 doors off. It just doesn't look right. So what we need to do is just delete all of the doors in the vehicle. Now, of course, it's still in texture. Let's go ahead and first off move this Humvee back to where it belongs, is over here. And yeah, so as you can see, it's still untextured, but yet we have all these textures in here, and you might not know which one to use. Well, you'll find out that if you start dragging, it will match eventually. Of course, these don't match, so don't try that. So I'll just tell you which textures go. You're gonna want to use this first texture right here, drag it on top of the hood. And this is pretty much the outside texture. You can drag it to the wheels as well. You know, texturize the wheels. Drag it to the gun, the right one, and then drag it to the back. And drag it to these wheels as well. Now there's only one more texture we have to really do, and that's the inside. So you guys can see. If you use the second one, it doesn't quite fit, so we're going to go ahead and use the third one, and this will texture the inside of the Humvee to look right. Now the only thing is, this is kind of a glitch with it. The back little antennas will not be textured with it, so just gonna have to leave those white. And as you guys can see, the actual oh, you might want to delete that little thing. But as you guys can see, the steering wheel will be kept white as well. So you guys might want to get rid. Hold on. There's not a whole lot that we can really do about the steering wheel, but oh well for now. So now that we have that, we can set a collider to it. So instead of just clicking on the main Humvee, what we're gonna do is something that's more, you know, it works better. So let's go ahead and click on the first mesh, click Shift, or hold down Shift, and then click on the last one, and it'll highlight everything in between. And to go up to Component, Physics, and let's click on Mesh Collider. This will set a mesh collider to every one of the meshes. And yeah, why this is important is because the actual Humvee is marked as an empty object, so the only thing you'd be setting a collider to is that little space in the middle right there instead of the whole car. The meshes themselves is actually parts of the car, and you'll actually set meshes to the car parts instead, and if you highlight all of them, it'll be the whole car. So therefore, if you set one to each part of the car, it will work out a lot better. So if we start up our game, you will notice that when we walk over towards our Humvee, that we cannot pass through it. It will not allow us, and this actually is a good size for a Humvee. So let's go ahead and add a couple other things to this Humvee. We're going to add a sound. This is a Humvee sound. It's an idling engine, as you guys can see. And how we add this sound is we pretty much take this Humvee sound, drag it on top of the Humvee right there, and you've just added a sound to it. So let's just go ahead and click play. And whenever you get close to it, it sounds like the engine's idle. When you walk away, it gets lower and lower. I won't zoom in on the specifics of this, but what you need to do is go to Humvee and go over here towards this audio source and click on bypass effect, bypass listener effect, and bypass reverb zone, and click on loop and play on awake. Don't really mess with the priority, volumes, or pitches. That will yeah, just leave that as is, and do not click the mute button unless you don't want it to be heard, of course. So next what we're going to do is add a couple of lights, our headlights for this Humvee, in case, you know, you're making it at night and not daytime. So let's go ahead. You don't have to do this, only if you guys want it to be night out. But I'm going to go ahead and go to my skyboxes, render settings, and Starry Night. And then I'm going to go to my sun, pretty much. Take the intensity down all the way. Now you will see that it does pretty much look like night when you click play. For the most part, the only light sources are really your campfire. And even then, it's a little. I'm just gonna do this for myself right here. Let's see, a point light. There we go. And I'm gonna make this point light. Where's it at? So if you guys click play, you will notice it's a little bit brighter around the campfire. I'll teach you a little bit more about doing that later, but for right now, let's go ahead and focus more on the lights of the Humvee. So let's go ahead and click on the Humvee itself. You can flick over it or something. And what we're going to do is add 2 headlights. Now, sometimes these tend to glitch, sometimes they don't. I don't know. We have to see. But go to Game Object, Create Other, and then a Spotlight. Now we're gonna have to move it over some, move it up. You'll notice when it comes above ground because you'll see the light itself. But bring it above ground, get level with the Humvee, take it to one of the headlamps, line it up that way. Click on the Z-axis to go the opposite way. Make sure it's in, and then you're gonna click the rotation tool and rotate it out to where it does that exactly. And you can invert it either way you want. I'm gonna do it a little bit like this. Then you guys can click off, and you guys can drag that spotlight onto the Humvee to make it part of the Humvee. Now what I typically do is take that spotlight, do Control C, and then Control V. Now you just made a copy. Now you're going to do the Move tool, and let's do Global Settings again. And we're going to move it straight over to the move it over to the other lamp. Now as you guys can see, it is glitching out at the moment. You can barely see either one of these, but see, it only allows you to have one light shine. But if you guys position these in the right way and everything, you might be able to see both of them. See, but it does glitch if they do touch or cross, so make sure they don't cross or anything. I might actually be able to undo that. I'm not sure how. Let's see, render mode. Mask. Yeah, but for the most part, that's pretty much how you can add a headlight. Now, to both of them, what you're going to do is click on the light and go up here to where it says flare. Click on this little circle, and you're going to click on small flare, and then put these a little bit out in front of the headlamps. Pull them a little bit out in front, and set the small flare to them. This time, when you walk past the actual headlamps, you'll notice that they're a little bit down, aren't they? Let's click on both of them and raise them up. Okay, so this time when you walk past the Humvee, or in front of it, you'll notice that there's lights, and they actually have a flare to make them look like they are turned on. And you can hear it, you can't walk through it, it's a collider, it's an actual object. Now you also have your fire with a little bit of like mist around it. I'll show you how to do that later. And you can't walk through it. It is an object set. It's got more than one particle. It's got a fire and some smoke, detailed smoke. And you do have two. You have a gun mounted to you. You have just a basic gun, a couple of hands, and a crosshair. And when you right click on the crosshair, or right click, crosshair goes away, because eventually we will be making this to where when you right click, it's going to go into a aim down the sights pretty much thing. So this pretty much wraps up today's tutorial. Hope you guys enjoyed it. This is Hunter from the Xeon Gaming Network. Hope you guys enjoyed this. If you liked it, drop a like in the description or down below. And for more videos like this, subscribe to this channel. I also have another channel, guys, that I'm going to make you guys aware about. It's called the Krypton Gaming Channel, or actually the Krypton Channel. I do a lot of gaming videos on there, and I do videos pretty similar to this one. I do post FPS tutorials and tips and tricks on FPS games on that one more so than I do this channel, which I really should be uploading to this channel a little bit more often. So if you guys want to visit that channel, go ahead. It'll be in the description as well. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for more videos like this. I'm not sure when my next video is going to be uploaded, but hope it'll be here in the next couple of days to a few weeks. So it's Hunter from the Xeon Gaming Network, and as always, have a nice day, guys.